Everybody, you're watching News 12. The pandemic has triggered many changes in K through 12 education.
And while most students have had routines interrupted, the children perhaps the most affected by the disruption are those with special needs.
News 12's Sherry Einhorn has the results of a new report.
It was a really hard struggle.
The pandemic took a toll on students across the state. North Babylon's Kathleen Gabriel says the worst part was watching her 6-year-old daughter slip backwards educationally. Vanessa has autism and gets intervention services, but Kathleen says many of those came to a screeching halt once schools shut down.
They cut pretty much all of the services in half, the first part of the pandemic. Then the second, when we went back to school in last September, to get a little bit more services.
But the damage, she says, was already done.
She lost a lot of her verbal. We saw some behaviors we had never seen before.
This new report from the state controller's office highlights what is described as the learning loss for students like Vanessa.
It also encourages school districts to spend increased state aid and federal emergency education aid on programs specifically geared towards special education.
While school districts have to think about how to safely reopen in this environment, it is critical to, in these reopening plans, address and come up with individualized plans for these students for how they will make up for the learning losses.
It's something the Port Washington school superintendent says they've already started.
We've actually added inclusion classes at the elementary level. We had summer school, so we took those federal funds that we received, extra state aid funds, and we've channeled it towards summer programs that are not mandated. We've also added social workers, guidance counselors.
For Vanessa, mom says she'll keep working with her own district to make sure her daughter gets back on track.
I do have high hopes for this year because we're seeing some movement.
In North Babylon, I'm Sherry Einhorn, News 12 Long Island.
Now, according to New York State, there are more than 460,000 students with disabilities statewide, making up about 18% of the kindergarten through 12th grade enrollment.